market side, there's a topic I kind of wanted to hone in on that came in. Um, and we'll use this as the basis for our discussion here, which was from Adam, who's in Rainier, Washington. Presumably, he's also suffering from the rain right now. Adam, I hope that you're here, but you put a great question to us. And the question is, when will the market begin to chill out? Or will it take several years while supply catches up with demand? Now, we've had this question a variety of ways, but I thought it was a good one because we had a kind of an offline conversation before the show between Scott and Dylan and Heidi about the market. So why don't we kind of roll that one in? Let's go counterclockwise. Scott, give us an update on, you want to throw anything about what's going on Oahu, but, let's kind of hit this one. When will the market chill out? Will supply catch up with demand? Will it take several years? What's your take on this, Scott?
Yeah, so let me give you a quick market update. We actually just got the market stats last night. So I was digging in through that. And so I was able to look at the entire year, which was good. And man, I mean, it's amazing. We got on that text thread last night. I hit Dylan and Heidi and Peter up and was like, hey man, this is what I'm seeing over here. What you got? And it was a fun little conversation we had via text message to kind of understand the differences in the island. But for Oahu, nothing has changed. There's three main points that you got to get out of Oahu here. Our median home price is $1,050,000. That's pretty much been steady for the last couple of months doing that. Condo prices are at median prices about $485,000. But the three big things are there's record low inventory. There's still a lot of buyers in the market. So heavy demand, low supply, and the speed of sale is at record pace too. So they're moving quickly, which is, let's see, 2 out of 3 homes are selling for more than the list price. 4 out of 10 condos are selling for more than the list price. So the main thing you got to understand here is if you're a seller, great time to sell. Call me up. Let's talk strategy, because you'll do really well in this market. If you're a buyer, you better be prepared. You need to get your ducks in a row. You need to have a strategy, especially in this market, and be working with the right people. Expect competition, expect that you're probably going to have to be paying over market price, and keep an eye on interest rates because they're starting to creep up. But the crazy thing is we were trending at number of active listings for homes at around 430 to 450. The holiday months dried that up even more. I think we're at like 315 homes actively on the market right now. Now that's going to speed up now that we get in the new year, but that's ridiculously low. It's half what we were at the height of the last market in 2006. So there's just very little inventory and a lot of buyers in the market.
I mean, that number, Dylan's going to give us some real context of that number of 300, really going to help us out with it. But just think about this. At just a armchair, clueless guy level like me, 300 listings. That means there's 300 homes for sale in an urban area of 1 million people. Mm-hmm. 1 million people, 300. That's the context. Dylan, give us the some more context, and how do you respond to that question that, when will the market chill out? So now what's going to be interesting before Dylan is going to be how the interest rates are going to curb that back, right? Because interest rates by definition will be raising prices. But anyway, so Dylan, what's going on the Big Island, and what's your take on when the market's going to chill? What's been happening?
Same as everywhere else. It is not chilling out at all. But for context, this is interesting, right? Less than 400 homes on Oahu available. There are 406 homes, give or take, around 400 any given day on the Big Island. So we have more homes on the Big Island with 20% the population that Oahu has. And so it's crazy for us, but it's even crazier to think about that, putting that into perspective with Oahu. We only have 54 condos on the market right now, and that's usually in the 300 range. And so context-wise, there's usually over 1,000 homes on the market. So we're extremely low inventory. That has continued. We saw at the latter part of last year, inventory go up a little bit, but it's pretty much bumped up a little bit and then stayed kind of around 400, 450 for homes any given time. And those include a lot of, we have our funky market in Kona, the rural areas where there are unpermitted homes and things like that. So that's not even really representative of like actual homes. And then there's also, we have that super high-end luxury market where you're talking like 5 million plus, and a big chunk of those, 25 of those homes are in that market. So the regular home market is extremely constrained. On any given day in the Kona market, there's less than 10, sometimes there's 6 homes on the market that are under $1 million. So I don't know when, we were talking about supply catching up with demand. The only real supply we have on the Big Island anyway is resale, right? We have very little new development outside of the luxury market. And so the only way you're going to have more supply is if more people start putting their homes on the market. And if people don't decide not to do that and they're just going to sit in their homes and they don't want to move, I don't know when that supply catches back up. And we're so far behind right now. It literally could take years, unless there's some crazy catastrophe in the economy or something, which nobody can predict. But under normal circumstances, going forward, I don't see any end in sight right now.
So here's the funny part. Here's the in your on your catastrophe thing. I was I was just talking
like
about
a
this.
plague, like a plague. If there's a plague,
Like a plague, you mean like a crazy
Like a
virus that makes
worldwide
everybody sick and
pandemic,
and like shuts down the whole economy, or like around the world, and everything comes to a grinding halt? Then no, that's the part. See, that's the part.
Yeah.
The part is that, and there's a story here that Hawaii is reporting that they're going to have record tax receipts, like something $8 billion in tax receipts or something like that. The most they've ever gotten. It's projected for 2022. And my point was like, man, if we could bounce back that fast after basically an asteroid hitting the planet, essentially, right, with this thing, Dylan, I don't think that it can, a catastrophic world event. I mean, this is really bringing up something very interesting, right? This is really exactly. This is really bringing up a very interesting aspect about perhaps Hawaii, but it's been going on the mainland too. I don't know, Scott. I mean, what do you think? I mean, here the interest rates going up is going to have some effect. It's going to have some effect. It's going to maybe taper off pricing. Go ahead, Scott.
Here's the problem with that in the short run, and here's where I see this. And Dylan's mentioned this before, and we're all on the same mindset of this. Is like if the state is not going to allow more development, to open up more development lands, because I think, if Dylan can correct me on this, but I think you mentioned it's like 5% of the state's land is actually developed, and a lot of it is preservation conservation land that's untouchable. So we either have to open up more new construction supply, or we have that resale issue. So we have a supply demand issue. We're either going to have to increase the supply, which that's not, you got to do it by a ton for the demand that's here, or something has the effect of demand side. Interest rates will do it. But what my thought is, and I'm seeing this, I had 7 buyer appointments last week. I have 4 this week, which is not normal for this time of the year. Usually it's a little slower. I think people are going to see, one, prices have gone up. They're going to continue to go up. I expect them to go up 20% this year because of where we are on the inventory side. Oh, and interest rates are going to go up too. I better get in now. So I actually think the interest rates moving up will force more people to move in now rather than wait.
I see what you're saying.
At least in the short run, right?
In the short run, the threat, in other words, the threat of interest rates going up is like, boy, if you're going to buy now, you better do it.
You're going to get a double whammy. Prices are going to be higher. Your interest rate's going to be higher if you wait. And if you're getting a mortgage, it's going to cost you more in the monthly payment. And people buy based on the monthly payment. They buy based on cash flow.
That's a really good point. It's almost like, basically what I'm getting out of this is that the threat, so to speak, or the forecast. Well, the market is already pricing in the increase in interest rates. You saw that with the sell-off. Is basically telling everyone, hey, look, prices are guaranteed to go up. They're guaranteed. It's guaranteed to be more expensive for you to own that home. Guaranteed. So you're going to have to make a decision.